Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video, I will be showing you different security tips and tricks on Samsung S25 Plus. Let's begin. Now, the very most important and first thing you should always do, if we're talking about privacy of course and security, is go to settings, scroll all the way down and simply click software update and then download and install. You need to be sure that your software is up to date, otherwise different systems such as, for example, antivirus built up on your phone won't work. So always remember to check your software once in a while. Other kind of self-explanatory thing, but you should also check your lock screen and AOD, because as you can see now we don't have any screen lock, meaning that if I would turn off your phone, anyone would simply go in, swipe it, and they have full access into it. So simply click screen lock and biometric, and here you can choose different passwords and different screen locks. For me, I really like the pattern as it's pretty simple. So I will quickly set up a new pattern, this being an L. I will draw it once again in order to confirm it. And here we can customize our lock screen a little bit. For example, we can show content, so we can normally just read what's on our notifications. And we can even hide those, well, not important ones. And also change it to dots or icons or cards. I really like the icon ones. After you're satisfied, you click done and the lock screen is now enabled. So if we want to now get into the phone, we need to draw a pattern. So let's just draw one. And as you can see, we have it done. Now, what if though somebody knows our password, for example, my wife? And what if I really don't want my wife to know that I'm secretly a fan of My Little Pony? Because I don't want anyone to know that. Now, here's a very handy option that's already built into your Samsung. So, we simply go once again to our settings and we scroll down until we find security and privacy. Here we can see a bunch of different things. If you don't have the little green check marks here, you probably should click what's missing. So for example, you do want to enable your lock screen, because if we wouldn't have a lock screen, then we wouldn't have our green check mark. So now as you can see, my security looks good. However, there is one simple issue: my wife. So, in order to actually set up a thing that will let us have a custom folder with a password, we simply go to More Security Settings and we click Secure Folder. Now we simply click Continue. We need to give it all the permission it needs, so we also click Continue, and then it will create secure folder. It will take a while, but I think it's no longer than 15 seconds exactly. So here we can check different lock screens. For example, we can even enable our fingerprint, but for me, I don't want to use pattern since it's already used in our lock screen, so I'll go with PIN. I will simply put the stronger password there is, that being 1234. Well, this PIN is easy. I don't think I care, so I simply go use anyway. We need to input it once again. And now we can check if we want to be able to reset our lock using our Samsung account. It will require you to well, have a Samsung account, so be wary of that. I will click Don't Allow. So now the phone warns us to simply don't forget our lock, because when this option is turned off, we can't reset it. And there is no other option to simply erase everything there is. So now we simply go next, unless we want to add fingerprints or we want to check that we want to allow reset of the lock. But for me, we simply go to next. And here you can see your secure folder with a custom copies of different things. Because as you could see before, there was a bunch of pictures in my gallery and the super secret My Little Pony thing, but we don't talk about that. But if we go here, we can see that it's actually nothing here, because this is our personal and private and most importantly secure folder and secure version of our gallery. Now if we click those three dots here, we can actually just simply exit our folder, encrypt it, or add more files. For now, we'll simply go to settings and we can do a bunch of different stuff here. For example, we could add more stuff. We can disable it from the lock screen, from the app screen, because now when we simply go here, we can see that our secure folder is, well, right here. However, it does look a little bit suspicious, doesn't it? So we can simply go back to our secured folder by just clicking it. And if you're wondering why we haven't really need to input our password, that's because we really didn't even close it. If we go to settings, we can see that the auto lock or secure folder will lock automatically only when the screen turns off. However, we can also check that it will auto lock each time we will leave an app, or after a certain time, or when the phone restarts. For me, I want it to only lock when the screen turns off. So as you can see now, we don't really have to input our password, but if I'll lock my screen and go once again here, oopsie, and click it, now we need to input our super secret password, that being 1234. But as I said before, the secure folder looks pretty, well, omniscient. So here we can simply click customize, and now we have a bunch of different options. So first of all, I really like the green color, so I want my secret folder to be green. Here we can actually check different things. For example, I will choose this suitcase and change the name of our folder into totally work. I would have to actually know how to write totally work related stuff, or stuff, yes. So now we simply click apply, and as you can see, we now have a totally not suspicious folder called totally work related stuff. And we can simply go in and we have our encrypted files here. So in order to actually, well, move my super secret here, we only have to click those three dots and move to secure folder. As you could see, one item has been moved to totally work related stuff, because of course I keep my work related stuff in the folder called totally work related stuff. So once we go here and go to our gallery, we can see my little hobby, or pony. That's open to interpretation. Now remember to actually lock and exit, or simply disable your screen if you have turned on the option to disable your screen. Actually, the last thing I want to showcase is you can add, you can add more options here, more applications, by simply going to, or even add files. So you can choose what files we want to move. For example, if I had for no reason at all an intro to My Little Pony, I could simply click audio and move it here. But you can also add more applications by going into settings and here simply clicking apps and moving apps that we want. You can also play around with it. You can change different lock type. You can even play around with this because maybe you don't want it to only turn off when the screen is enabled and disabled. You should just have fun with it. But the most important thing to know is that now my wife won't know anything, because maybe my work is simply boring and she never will click something called totally work related. Anyway, back to our settings, because there is still a bunch of different stuff we can enable in order to make our phone more secure. And wouldn't you know it, we'll do that in the security and privacy option. The second almost most important thing is to actually enable our auto blocker. Now it may be it should probably be enabled by default, but if you ever would want to use secret codes, for example secret codes that put your phone into test mode, you will see that it now doesn't work. In order to make that work, you need to disable the auto blocker. However, your phone won't be protected then. We can also manage our permissions, because different applications have different permissions and we probably don't want some random application to probably have access to our location, because if the app is not secure, people probably will want to get our hands on our localization. As you can see, Call of Duty here has an access to nearby devices only while using application. But we can also just simply deny it if we want. And speaking of applications, we probably want to also disable or enable, depends on how responsible you are with your phone. We'll simply go to privacy settings, and here, not privacy settings, more security settings, and here we can actually check or discheck the install unknown apps. So probably if you are doing some shady stuff, some doing yahaha and other, you probably would want to enable it. However, it does make your phone more vulnerable to your own stupidity, to be honest, because you can simply randomly click an ad or anything, honestly, and your phone might be easily infected. So we probably want to click denial, so we won't be able to, well, click anything and install something stupid. The last thing I want to show you, oh, that's one of my hair, sorry. The last thing we want to check is simply enhanced data protection. Meaning we can simply encrypt our backup data, though we will need a password to our Samsung account if we are using Samsung Cloud in order to back up our data, or we can encrypt synchronized data, which will also require you to input your password, as it's basically built-in Samsung stuff. Now, is there more to it? Yeah, obviously. For example, you can simply, in order to make your phone more secure in the case of losing it, or in the case of simply buying a new one, you can go to... oh, I lost it. Yeah, here it is. Account and backup, and simply backup your data. It's really simple. It's just requires you to click something and click backup now, and it's exactly the same in the Samsung Cloud. and so many people aren't doing it, and then they're whining about how they lost their data. Just back it up. It's really that simple. And I think this is the end of this tutorial, of this video with security tips and tricks. And there's actually one more thing, and it's simply not plugging into public Wi-Fi networks. Because if you have ever been into a McDonald's, for example, you will see that they have a free Wi-Fi option. And it is really cool to, have a free Wi-Fi, but be aware that Wi-Fi there is public, and any person who has a knowledge about hacking or about basically anything else could easily get into your phone using public Wi-Fi. And also just be sentient, don't be stupid, don't click random links. And that's probably the most important thing of the all, except of course updating your software. But just be mindful of what you're doing with your phone, because if something happens to it, it is probably your fault. So, if you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.